In the US, summer is for sand, sun, and blockbuster movies. And this summer, we're going to use those movies to learn English and study how to sound American. Every video this summer is going to be a Study English with Movies video. We'll pull scenes from this summer's hottest movies, as well as favorite movies from years past. It's amazing what we can discover by studying even a small bit of English dialogue. We'll study how to understand movies, what makes Americans sound American, and of course, any interesting vocabulary, phrasal verbs, or idioms that come up in the scenes we study. I call this kind of exercise a Ben Franklin exercise. First, we'll watch the scene. Then we'll do an in-depth analysis of what we hear together. This is going to be so much fun. Be sure to tell your friends and spread the word that all summer long, every Tuesday, we're studying English with movies here at Rachel's English. If you're new to my channel, click subscribe and don't forget the notification button. Let's get started. First, the scene.
You want to get personal.
Where were you born?
Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part.
First job?
Soldier, straight out of high school. Left the ranks of full bird colonel.
Then?
Spy.
Where?
It was the Cold War. We were everywhere.
Now?
Been riding the desk for the past 6 years, trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from. Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
Now, the analysis.
You want to get personal.
I love this sentence because there's such contrast between the stressed and unstressed syllables and words. He really stresses the word you at the beginning.
You want to get personal. You want to get personal. You want to get personal.
You want to get personal. And then the stressed syllable of per, the first syllable, is also stressed. But the three words want to get are all much lower in pitch, much less clear, flatter than the you, up, down shape, higher pitch of the stressed word you.
You want to get personal. You want to get personal. You want to get personal.
Listen to just want to get.
Want to get. Want to get. Want to get.
Want to get, want to get, want to get, want to get. Much less clear than you. Now listen to the word you with want to get together, stressed and then unstressed.
You want to get. You want to get. You want to get.
A big difference there in the quality of those stressed versus unstressed syllables. We have a reduction. Want to becomes wanna.
Want to get. Want to get. Want to get.
And the word get has a stop T because the next word begins with a consonant. Get, 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 get. Want to get, want to get.
Want to get. Want to get. Want to get personal.
Hey guys, I wanted to pop in here to tell you that Skillshare is again sponsoring this video. Now I know that you do a lot of learning online and I do too. And Skillshare is a great place to go and to continue that learning. You may have noticed about a month ago, I made a video called My Morning Routine. And in that video, as I was making it, I found out that vlogging is actually kind of hard. It's definitely its own separate skill. I found Skillshare has a course from an awesome YouTuber on vlogging that I'd like to take. Come to Skillshare and search on whatever your interest is. You'll find courses in English, so you'll be able to study vocabulary and phrases used when talking about this topic you're passionate about. It's twice the learning. If you sign up, tell me in the comments below what course you end up taking. I'm so interested in learning more about you guys. Follow this link or the link in the video description for your own code to get 2 months free. Okay, let's get back to the analysis.
Want to get personal.
Then the unstressed syllables sun, ul, both said really quickly. Those both have the schwa. And in both of these cases, they're followed by a syllabic consonant. That means the consonant takes over the schwa. We don't make a separate vowel sound. So we go right from S into N. Sun, sun, sun. Person, person. And then right from N into L without making any kind of vowel sound. No, 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 no. Now this is a dark L, which does have a vowel-like quality. You want to get personal.
You want to get personal. You want to get personal. You want to get personal.
Whoa, different day, different outfit, important announcement. Did you know that with this video, I made a free audio lesson that you can download? In fact, I'm doing this for each one of the YouTube videos I'm making this summer all 11 of the Learn English with Movies videos. So follow this link or find the link in the video description to get your free downloadable audio lesson. It's where you're going to train all of the things that you've learned about pronunciation in this video. Back to the lesson.
Now, here is how Americans make the L in this case. It's a dark L. It's at the end of a thought group. It doesn't link into anything. We make that without lifting the tongue tip. Can you do that too? We make the dark L with the back part of the tongue. Back part of the tongue presses down a little bit. While the tongue tip stays forward. I find that most of my students are so heavily trained in lifting their tongue tip that it's a very difficult habit to break. I want to challenge you to do this. Personal. Your tongue is lifted for the N. Bring it back down. No. And use the back of the tongue to make the dark sound for the dark L.
Personal. Personal. Personal.
Where were you born?
She's speaking quickly here without much emotion, very straight-faced. Where are you born? Where and born both are stressed words there.
Where were you born? Where were you born? Where were you born?
Where were you born? They both have that up-down shape. Were you, on the other hand, are much flatter, much faster. Were you? The word born, this would be written with the aw as in law vowel followed by r. When these two sounds come together in the same syllable, like here, the aw as in law vowel is not pure. It's not aw, but it's o. My lips round more. The tongue pulls back a little bit. Born. Where are you born?
Where were you born? Where were you born? Where were you born?
Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part.
So this is a longer thought group. He says Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part. No breaks. If it's no breaks, then that means it's one thought group. So I've written it here with Huntsville, Alabama on this slide, and on the next slide is the second half of the thought group, but he didn't actually put a break there.
Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part. Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part. Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part.
The stress of these multi-syllable words, we have Huntsville, first syllable stress, Alabama. So the most stressed syllable is bam. And the first syllable has a little secondary stress. So I would put the primary stress marker there, secondary stress marker there. The other two A's are schwas. Actually, just a few weeks ago on the channel, I made a video of how to go over the pronunciation of the 50 states and their capitals. We talked about the 4 A's in this word. Click here or in the video description to check out that video that goes over the pronunciation of the 50 states.
Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part.
But technically I don't remember that part. Our stressed syllables, very clear, but technically I don't remember that part. Those have higher pitch. They have the up-down shape, that curve. The rest is a little bit flatter. It's either leading up to a peak or falling away from a peak. But
technically I don't remember that part. But technically I don't remember that part. But technically I don't remember that part.
Now we have an ending T and a beginning T. Those will combine into a single sound. One true T, but technically. He's pronouncing this word as 3 syllables, first syllable stressed, tech, and the CH here makes a hard K sound. Technic. The C here makes a hard K sound. Technically. And then he's not pronouncing this at all, just an LY ending then. Technically. Technically
I don't remember that part.
And all of these words link together really smoothly. Technically, I don't Okay, what's happening with the N''T contraction? We have lots of different ways we pronounce that. And in this particular case, I think I'm actually hearing the whole thing dropped. Don't remember. Do. So we have the D consonant, O diphthong, and then I hear that linking right onto the next sound, which is the R.
I don't remember that part. I don't remember that part. I don't remember that part.
Now, it doesn't sound like do, because do has different sounds. It has the D consonant and the U vowel. So the fact that we have this O diphthong, that's how we know it's the negative. Do, don't remember, don't remember. But I definitely don't hear the T. For a second, I listened to it on a loop. I was asking myself, do I hear a light, quick N? I don't think I really do. I think it's just dropped. Don't remember, don't remember, don't remember, don't remember. Do, O, 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 O. Just the O diphthong right into the R. Isn't it crazy? We can pronounce this contraction without the N apostrophe T at all, without the part that makes it a negative. But I still hear it as that word because of the O diphthong.
I don't remember that part. I don't remember that part. I don't remember that part.
Are you pronouncing this word remember? Try to pronounce it with a schwa. Remember. Remember. Remember.
Remember. Remember. Remember.
I want you to listen to just the last three words. Remember that part.
Remember that part. Remember that part. Remember that part.
Kind of mumbly. It's at the end of the thought group. It's losing the vocal energy. And when I'm listening to the word that, which would have a stop T in most cases because it's followed by the P here, I actually think I'm also not hearing that part. I think he drops it. TH, quick A vowel, and then right into the P. That part. The ending T, he's also not really pronouncing that too clearly. I would still write that as a stop T. I don't think it's dropped. That would sound like par. And I don't hear that. I hear part. And that more abrupt end is the stop T. But let's listen to these last three words on a loop again and think about how you have to simplify everything in your mouth to be able to say this quickly and this unclearly. It's a little bit mumbled. This is pretty common for how words come out at the end of a thought group. They're definitely less clear.
Remember that part. Remember that part. Remember that part.
First job.
First job. First job. Two stressed words. They're both a little bit longer. First job. And pitch goes up at the end because she's asking the question. She wants to know what was his first job. Notice how we're pronouncing the T here. This T is dropped because it comes between two consonants. That's really common to do that when we have an ending cluster like the ST cluster in first or just or must. When it's followed by a word that begins with a consonant, you'll hear that T dropped. That helps to link the two words together more smoothly. So right from the S into the J sound. First job. Also note, we have the letter O here. I know my students see that and they want to do some lip rounding. No lip rounding in this sound. It's the ah as in father vowel. It is not job. Actually, this reminds me of Tom, who's a Rachel's English teacher. His name is the same. Single syllable, has the letter O. It makes the ah as in father vowel. And even so, almost all of his students say something like tom, instead of tom, ah, with no lip rounding. Even though he reminds them, it's not an O sound, it's the ah vowel. We see the letter O, we have such a strong association. But in English, one of the challenges is to break your association between what you see on the page and the actual natural American pronunciation. Because as you can see, we change things quite a bit. We drop sounds, vowels are not what we think they are. So the vowel in job and in the word Tom is the ah as in father vowel. Ah.
First job. First job. First job.
Soldier.
Soldier. Soldier. Two-syllable word, first syllable stress. Soldier. D-I here is pronounced as a J sound, which we would write in IPA J. Soldier. Soldier.
Soldier. Soldier. Soldier.
And the L here, this is the break of the syllable. Soldier. So the L comes after the vowel. That makes it a dark L. He made it without lifting his tongue tip. I make it without lifting my tongue tip. Soldier. soldier. I'm not lifting my tongue tip at all there. I'm using the back of my tongue for a more dark sound for the dark L. I challenge you to do the same thing. Do not lift your tongue tip. An L is a dark L when it comes after the vowel or diphthong in a syllable. Soldier.
Soldier. Soldier. Soldier. Straight out of high school.
5-word thought group, the word straight and high, most stressed. School also has some length, but it's at the end of the thought group. The pitch isn't as high. Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school.
Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school.
We have an STR beginning cluster. Stray, stray. The T can come out as a CH there. Stray, stray. Straight outta, straight outta. Just make sure you make it light. Don't put too much air in it. Stray, stray. Then these 4 letters, A, I, G, H, all make the A diphthong.
Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school.
All of the words in this thought group are really smoothly connected. We have a couple flap T's linking words together, like connecting straight out, straight out, straight out, straight out, straight out, another flap T connecting here, straight out. The word of reduced, it's just the schwa, straight out, straight out, straight out, straight out, 2 flaps linking those words.
Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school. Straight out of high school.
High school, high school, high school. And again, we have a dark L. I guarantee you he is not lifting his tongue tip. Don't lift your tongue tip as you practice this.
High school. High school. High school. Left to right's a full bird kernel.
So the word left, stressed, ranks, also sort of stressed, but also not totally clear. We'll talk about that in a second. Then the last 3 words, even more clear, even longer. Full bird kernel.
Left to right's a full bird kernel. Left to right's a full bird kernel. Left to right's a full bird kernel.
So the rhythm pattern of these first 4 words, I would say, is still da-da-da-da. Stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed. Even though left and ranks are said more quickly, it really slows down then on full bird kernel. He's really stressing all 3 of those words.
Left to right's a full bird kernel. Left to right's a full bird kernel. Left to right's a full bird kernel.
Left the ranks. Left the ranks. T is dropped. It comes between 2 other consonants. Left the. So a quick F goes right into the voiced TH, which doesn't come through the teeth here because it's beginning an unstressed word. Left the. I make that sound by just pressing my tongue on the backs of the teeth. It's not at the roof of the mouth. That would make it sound like a D. But the tongue tip doesn't come through the teeth either. Left the ranks. Left the ranksa.
Left to right's. Left to right's. Left to right's.
The N here is the NG sound because it's followed by the letter K. Ranks, ranks, ranks. And I really feel like it's very subtle here. He says this word quickly, a little unclearly. It almost sounds like rakes without the NG to me.
Left to right's. Left to right's. Left to right's a full bird kernel.
Full. We have a dark L. Don't lift your tongue tip. Try it. Full, full, full bird. Bird has the vowel, and that's overtaken by the R, so you don't actually need to try to make a vowel at all. Make the B sound, the R sound, the D sound. Bird, bird. Now the word kernel. Okay, it's obviously, this is one of the weirdest words in American English as far as letters and sounds.
Full bird kernel. Full bird kernel. Full bird kernel.
We have the K sound, which we get from the letter C. Then we have the same sound combination as in bird, the vowel and the R consonant. Where's the R? Exactly. So where's the O? Don't know. Where's this O? Don't know. It's just very strange. I don't know how this word evolved. It'd be interesting to look into that. Kernel. 2-syllable word, first syllable stress, K sound, R sound, cur, and then a very quick no, and dark L sound at the end, kernel.
Colonel. Colonel. Colonel.
Then,
Then. Voice goes up in pitch. She's asking a question. It's not a statement. She's saying, what's next? Then.
Spy.
So his voice has a little bit of popcorn quality. There's not a full engagement of the air. Quick up, down shape of a stressed syllable. That is a statement. It comes down. Spy.
Spy. Spy. Spy.
where,
Where. Now this one also comes down, and she also has a popcorn quality of her voice. Where. Instead of where, which has more volume, more air.
where.
Now, why does this one go down in pitch where the other question statement went up in pitch? That's a great question. The general rule is, for the most part, if it's a yes/no question, it goes up in pitch. If not, it goes down in pitch. But there are always exceptions. When she said then, going up here, that was not a yes/no question, but going up made us know it was a question. Here, the pitch of where goes down. We still know it's a question.
Where.
The word where as a statement wouldn't exist, wouldn't really make sense. And I'm trying to think, would I ever make the intonation of where go up? And I would. I would if someone had told me where something was and I didn't hear them and I needed them to say it again, then I would say where. But this is her first time asking the question, where? She's making it a statement.
Where.
It's the Cold War. We were everywhere.
Okay, this is interesting. We have it was the Cold War. It was the Cold War. Stress on cold. It was the. Those three words. How are they pronounced?
It's the Cold War. It's the Cold War. It's the Cold War.
I'm hearing a Z sound. I'm hearing a schwa. The Cold War. The Cold War. Now, I know that the phrase grammatically would be it was the Cold War. But he says those three words really quickly, just combines them into two sounds. The Cold War. The Cold War.
It's the Cold War. It's the Cold War. It's the Cold War. We were everywhere.
Then the words we were everywhere. We were. Pitch goes up. Energy goes up. We were. We have the peak on the vowel everywhere. And then the pitch comes down. We were everywhere. We were everywhere. All connected smoothly together.
We were everywhere. We were everywhere. We were everywhere.
Now.
Again, her pitch goes up, showing it's a question. Now, this is a word that we could make as a statement. Now. Like if someone said, hey, Rachel, when are you leaving? Now. So by making the intonation go up, now, it's inviting that question via conversation. Now.
Been riding the desk for the past 6 years, trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from.
Then he has a really long thought group. Actually, let's add the end of this thought group here to this slide. So we have lots of words that are a little bit longer, a little bit clearer. Been riding a desk for the past 6 years.
Been riding the desk for the past 6 years. Been riding the desk for the past 6 years. Been riding the desk for the past 6 years, trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from.
Trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from. Future, a little bit of length on enemies. But we have some reductions. What are you noticing? First, let's look at the first word.
Been riding it.
EE is pronounced as the letter I. That's actually not a reduction, but it's just the pronunciation. But it said very quickly, been riding a. Been riding a desk. Riding a desk. Riding a. NG sound is changed to just an N sound. Riding a. And that links right into the schwa. Riding a.
Been riding it.
Now we have desk for the. I want you to listen to those three words and listen especially for the K.
Been riding the desk for the.
Desk for the. K is dropped. comes between two consonant sounds. We sometimes do that when we're linking things together. Desk for a.
Been riding the desk for the. Been riding the desk for the. Been riding the desk for the.
Desk for the. Desk for the. For the, both said really quickly. We have a for reduction. The word the. Tongue tip does not need to come through the teeth for that TH. You can just touch it at the back of the teeth, the back of the front teeth for the. How fast can you say that? For the. Desk for the. Desk for the.
Desk for the. Desk for the. Desk for the past 6 years.
Now look, let's look ahead. We have STS, a cluster. The T comes between two other consonant sounds. Do you think it's dropped? I think it is. Let's hear.
The past 6 years. The past 6 years. The past 6 years.
Past 6 years, past 6 years, past 6 years. Okay, yep, it is dropped. Past 6. Those two words connected with a single S. And actually, I'm going to write a little bit of length on that word too. Past 6 years, past 6 years. I think they all have a little bit of length to them.
The past 6 years. The past 6 years. The past 6 years. Trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from.
Trying to figure out. Okay, that's not how it's pronounced. The TR, I am hearing a CHR, trying. That's really common. Now, the ING, again, he's dropping the G sound. He's making that an N sound. Trying. The word to. This word is reduced to just the schwa. We don't usually drop the beginning sound. We do make that a flap T sometimes, but I have noticed we do sometimes drop that altogether when the sound before is an N, and that's what's happening here. Trying to figure out. Also said pretty quickly, out, we have a stop T here. Figure out. Because the next word begins with a consonant, the W sound.
Trying to figure out where our future enemies.
WH word, but he makes just a clean W sound. There's no where in front. It's just where. The word our, pretty unclear. I would probably write that schwa R. It's reduced. Where.
Where our future enemies. Where our future enemies. Where our future enemies.
You know, I would normally write this schwa R, but I actually almost think I'm just hearing it like a schwa. Where our future enemies are. That's not too common, but I do think that's what he's doing here. Where our future enemies are. He's just speaking so quickly. This particular word is said so quickly. Now, when it's all linked together, I totally get it. It would sound weird to pronounce our that way if it wasn't linked in as part of the sentence.
Where our future enemies. Where our future enemies. Where our future enemies.
This word our and this word are both often reduced to something that sounds pretty much the same, schwa R. Of course, over here I said the R was dropped, but here I do hear it. Enemies are. Ending Z sound linking right into the next sound. Zer. Enemies are.
Enemies are coming from.
Or coming from. So he has 3 ing verbs here, and for each one of them, he's changed the NG sound into an N sound. I do tell my students not to do this all the time. It just doesn't sound quite right, mixed in with other things that students tend to do. There will be some native speakers that do it all the time that will definitely sound like an accent, a regional accent in the US, and that's fine, especially, if you live there, you might want to pick that up. Although people in the US move around so much, I can't say that, everyone in a particular region speaks that way. A lot of people would speak with a more standard accent, and that's what I teach. So I just want to talk about that here. He's done it 3 times. A student watching this might think, we should be doing this all the time. I wouldn't say that. The last word from, not reduced. Sometimes we reduce this word to from. But the vowel is not reduced. It is the as in butter vowel. We generally don't reduce the last word in a sentence or a thought group.
Coming from. Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
So let's talk about stress. Never occurred to me they would be coming from above. above. And the most stress on that last word because this is what is unusual. The enemies are coming from above.
Never occurred to me they would be coming from above. Never occurred to me they would be coming from above. Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
Also, grammatically, we would have the word it here. The word it is implied. It never occurred to me. But he doesn't say that. He just says, never occurred to me.
Never occurred to me. Never occurred to me. Never occurred to me.
Never occurred to me. So in the stressed syllable of occur, we have that R vowel again. Occurred. So you don't need to try to make a vowel there. It's really the R sound. Occurred.
Occurred.
A little bit of stress on the first syllable of never. Then the R links into the schwa. Never occurred.
Never occurred to me.
Never occurred to me. So the ED ending here is a little light D sound not released. Then he makes the word to with a true T, and the vowel is reduced to the schwa. Occurred to. Do you hear that D sound in my vocal cords before I make the T? Occurred to me. Occurred to me.
Occurred to me they would be coming from above.
So we have the stressed syllable occurred, then we have to me, they would be. All of these words before the next stressed word.
To me they would be coming. To me they would be coming. To me they would be coming.
To me they would be. To me they would be. To me they would be. To me they would be a little bit flatter in pitch. We don't have much of that up down shape. To me they would be. To me they would be. To me they would be. Now I hope you're noticing the L in would is always silent. To me they would be. To me they would be. A very light D sound in the vocal cords here. Again, not released. That would be. They would be. Would be. Would be. Would be. Would be. We don't hear that. They would be. They would be. They would be. That's what we hear. They would be. Little D sound. The vocal cords are vibrating. That's a voiced sound, but it's not released. I go right into the B sound.
To me they would be. To me they would be. To me they would be coming from above.
Coming from above. We have interesting stress here. He's playing with it a little bit because of the surprise of the enemies coming from above, from outer space. Coming from above. Da 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 da. Really stressing that last syllable. Now here we have an ing word. He does pronounce that as an ing word. He makes the ng sound instead of an n sound. Coming from. Now here I probably would write this as the from reduction with a schwa instead of the as in butter vowel. Coming from above. Coming from above.
Coming from above. Coming from above. Coming from above.
The last thing I want to talk about is he does do a little lift here from above. When I was practicing it, one time I did it with the link from above. But no, that's not how he does it. He says from above, from little break above. Putting that little break there makes that word even more stressed. If we linked it into the word before, it would sound a little bit more conversational. But by putting a little lift there, a little break in the sound, it brings more stress to that word. Wow, the enemies are coming from above.
Coming from above. Coming from above. Coming from above.
Let's listen to this whole conversation one more time.
You want to get personal.
Where were you born?
Huntsville, Alabama, but technically I don't remember that part.
First job?
Soldier, straight out of high school. Left the ranks of full bird colonel.
Then?
Spy.
Where?
It was the Cold War. We were everywhere.
Now?
Been riding the desk for the past 6 years, trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from.
Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
We're going to be doing a lot more of this kind of analysis together. What movie scenes would you like to see analyzed like this? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see all my Ben Franklin videos, click here. You'll also find the link in the video description. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English. If you want to see my absolute latest video, click here. If you're new to the channel, check out this Where to Start playlist. Click here to subscribe. I make new videos on American English every Tuesday. To be sure we can keep in touch, click here to sign up for my newsletter. You'll get free lessons in your inbox every week.